EXPs, what's good? How you guys doing today? This is Jay, your experiential marketing coach, and I'm checking in with you guys live from Illinois. Yes, I would show you guys my view right now. It's not but a whole bunch of trucks, but because of the platform that I'm using, I can't pan out and switch cameras like I normally would. So but nonetheless, it is a hot day here in Illinois, and I wanted to come to you guys live to talk all things experiential marketing, of course, right? But also tying it back into the things that are going on right now within society and how that affects us as experiential marketing professionals. All right. We also have the IG family here tapping in with us live. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you go follow me on IG at J Davis Media. Also, in the comments, let me know where you guys are checking in from, what market you're currently in, if you're currently on tour, um, how your morning's going so far. And if you have any questions, now's the time to ask them, all right, while you got me live. So let's see what's going on here. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and talk really quick. Let's talk inflation, right? Inflation, how it affects us within the experiential marketing industry. First, I want to give you guys some facts because I'm big on facts and I'm big on numbers, all right? So first things first, currently right now, as it stands, 2022, we are looking at an inflation rate in this country of 8.3%. Right? Previously, it was 8.5%. Starting up this truck, so let me close these doors real quick. Previously, we finished out at 8.5%, but now as of as of May 11th, we're looking at 8.3% inflation in the country. It's the highest it's been since the 2009, 2010 era when we had issues with inflation. And if we look at the history, right, and where all of that led to, we saw a recession happen. Now, government officials and experts are really trying to stay away from the word recession, right? Because when you hear recession and people hear that, it creates the negative connotation. And yes, we know recessions um, are can not only be a negative, but it can also create a reset of some sort, right, for the government, for everybody. But in the interim of going to and heading to that recession, we all feel it, right? Inflation has an adverse effect, and I'm just looking at some facts that I was researching last night. It has an adverse effect on us as consumers, and it leads to increased saving. So what does that mean? Basically, we stop spending, right? We see that, and if you guys haven't experienced this already, I don't know where y'all living, but we see food price going up, gas prices going up. I know we feeling it here with diesel. You know, we're paying um we paying what we used to pay $750, $800 to fill up our truck. We now paying $1,000 in diesel just to fill up our truck. So truckers, even normal consumers who have a regular vehicle, right? You guys are feeling it at the pump with gas. Food costs are going up. Cost of living is going up in a lot of cities. Rent prices, everything is going up, which in turn um, is affecting how we spend money, is affecting how far we're able to stretch our money and how we're able to make our money work for us as consumers, right? So what does this mean, right? With inflation, the way that it is, with the experiential marketing industry, right, and EXP events picking back up, what does that mean for us, right, within the experiential marketing industry? How does that affect wages? How does that affect pricing, right? So let's get into it. Let's talk about it really quick. First off, from a brand standpoint, yes, a lot of brands want to get back out there and start back having consumer experiences because they understand that, hey, we've been out of the loop for 2 years. We need to further engage with consumers. We need to create events. We need to have different activations. We need to be at these festivals, right? To get the brand presence out there, to establish their awareness and continue the brand loyalty, right, with the consumers that we already have. But on the flip side, experiential marketing agencies that are bidding for these contracts are now having to really look at their bottom line. They're having to analyze, okay, if we submit this RFP, this request for quote, request for price, or RFQ, request for quote, excuse me, what can we charge, right? If we're going to have huge assets, if we're going to be using a F450, a dually with a trailer, if this brand wants this elaborate setup, right, this elaborate footprint, what is it going to take from a cost standpoint for us to fabricate and put this footprint, put this activation together, right? Fuel costs is going to be highly considered, during this time, especially in the summer and in the fall and going into the winter, because from what they're saying, inflation is going to be here for a while. We're going to see it going into the end of this year and into early next year, right? So fuel prices, they're going to continue to go up, but they're going to level out some, but they're not going to be what we saw 6 months or even a year ago, right? So how do the experiential marketing agencies make sure that they bid enough for the programs, for these tours, to keep operating expenses at a level where they can either make profit, right, or break even to keep the business of that brand to then hopefully, right, become a repeat, what am I trying to say? Babes? Become a repeat, thank you, repeat client, right? And have that business for next year. So definitely for experiential marketing agencies, they're having to look at budgeting. They're having to look at, okay, what can we realistically charge, giving all the elements and all the things that this brand wants to include and encompass in their activation, in their actual tour or their program. As an EXP, whether you are going to be a tour manager, right? Whether you are going to be a brand ambassador, but more so for my tour managers, this can affect the salary in which you are compensated at. Because at the end of the day, oftentimes, I'm not going to say every agency operates like this, but oftentimes when they start to look at places where they can trim the fat, places where they can save on costs, places where they can maximize more of the money that they make as an agency, they start to look at their salary. Okay, if this tour is going to be 3 months, and we're gonna need a tour manager. Okay, instead of paying 17 or 1600, let's see if we can get somebody for 1500, for 1450 to do it, right? Because they're looking at, since we have to pay more on operating costs, more on actual maintaining and operating a tour, we got to find ways to cut costs other places. And unfortunately, the EXPs, especially the ones in the field executing the events, they are the ones that get hit the first. They take the blunt of it with regards to salary. Now, not every agency operates like this. All right. Every agency has different practices and ways in which they're able to allocate the money, in which they're able to move money from program to program, or they have honest conversations, and they talk to their clients and let them know, hey, this is what we pay our tour managers, our team leads, our brand ambassadors, our product specialists to successfully execute this program. And this is our operating cost to have quality staff, right? And at that point, it is up to then the client to decide, okay, we want to keep and go ahead and award you this contract, or we're going to continue to look for another agency who can provide the same services at a cheaper rate, right? It's all about what the brand or a brand/client is willing to pay, but more so also about what the experiential marketing agency pitches and how they are able to ensure that they are including and encompassing the staff, because at the end of the day, guys, we know as EXPs, we understand, right? Without us in the field executing the tours, without us in the field engaging with consumers, without us in the field actually putting up these footprints, ensuring that we're there on time, that we have successful activations, these brands cannot maximize and see the success that comes with having experiential marketing programs and experiential marketing tours, and benefit from the data and everything that is encompasses and that is collected from an experiential marketing program. So more than just a consumer activation, these brands look at numbers. They look at facts. They look at, okay, what or how is this activation or is this program going to increase our ROI and our brand awareness, right? But to my agencies, be mindful, right, how you are pitching these programs, and don't negate or feel like or forget that the EXPs, the ones in the field on a day-to-day basis executing your programs, make sure that they feel appreciated, make sure they feel valued, make sure that they know that you are looking out for their best interest. Because I can speak from experience, it's nothing worse than being a tour manager on a program where you don't feel valued and you don't feel appreciated by the account manager, by the agency, um, or even, that you're just a number, right? You don't, it just makes you feel like you're not valued. And the EXPs who don't feel valued, oftentimes, because many of us have great values and great work ethics, right? Because we committed to a program, right? We'll stick it out, right? And we'll finish out that program because we gave our word. But some of us don't think like that. And some of us will leave your assets, right, in another state, in another city, and have you come pick it up and figure out the next move. All right. So make sure you are valuing, make sure you're taking care of your staff. Make sure your EXPs know that you're looking out for their best interest. And make sure this is also, when you're working with your clients, you're communicating the value that this EXP is going to bring to a program, and that they, from a financial standpoint, feel like they're going to be compensated accordingly. Okay, as the industry continues to have activations this summer, and as we continue to see an increase in people and an increase of more programs being executed, brands are going to start stepping back out there, which they already have, right? And they're going to be looking for agencies, and they're going to be looking for those to come in and execute these activations. So EXPs, I cannot stress this enough to you. Make sure that you are reading your contracts thoroughly before you commit to any program, right? Whether you're going to be a tour manager, product specialist, team lead, read your contracts thoroughly, right? Understand what is going to be required, your roles and responsibilities at the position in which you are applying for, right? Ask questions when you're on these interviews, right? Make sure you understand the totality, not just a one-off event, the totality, right, of what that client is going to expect from you and what that agency, from a financial standpoint, is going to be awarding to you. Talk bonuses, talk incentives, right? For me, I like to look at the roles and responsibilities. I ask questions, and then I look at and compare whether what they are offering, right, matches the compensation that they are awarding or that they are providing. And you always have to be mindful of the fact that when it comes to setup, when it comes to breakdown, when it comes to long activations, while account managers and staffing coordinators may quote you, oh, it should only take you 2 hours, 3 hours, add 1 to 2 hours on that. Okay, because you are going to be the one out there putting these assets together. You're going to have to make sure that you organize things in a way which are going to allow you to be efficient, right, at your job. And even training staff, you're going to have to make sure that you set up your footprint and everything so that you're able to have staff come in and assist you to make your job easier, so that you're able to start on time, end on time, set up and break down on time. Okay, because especially for my tour managers, there are a lot of factors and things that you're going to have to keep in mind when you're executing these programs. All right, and market managers and regional managers as well. Be mindful of the compensation. Don't be afraid to ask for more money if you know it's going to require more work and more responsibility. Okay. So as we continue to see the economy, as we continue to see how things shift, how things pan out within the society and how it affects you as an EXP, just make sure that you guys are mindful of the rates in the industry, that you're being attentive to the different roles and the different jobs that are being offered, and that you understand before you commit to any program, you understand what is going to be required of you and the compensation that's going to be awarded. Okay, my experiential marketing agencies have those tough conversations sometimes with those brands and those clients about the compensation and about the amount of work that's going to be required to execute and perform the duties at an activation or at a tour. Because while it may seem, a lot of times with brands, while it may seem simple in nature, there's a lot of complex and deep complex moves, and details that go into the successful activation of one event. So we got somebody coming in, we got a special guest. I can't hear you, Cam. Let's see where you are.
I was being professional and kept my mic muted until it was time to come on camera. And then I forgot to unmute it. How are you guys? What's up, Jay?
I'm good. How you doing, Cam? So let's talk. Are you in on the conversation? What's your thoughts on what I'm saying now? Oh, first off, introduce everybody for those who don't know you, and give us an update because I haven't seen you in a year now. So let's update. Last I saw you were in Vegas, right?
Yes.
During the pandemic. So tell us, what's been going on with you? Yeah, how's life been treating you?
Oh, it's been treating me a lot better lately. I took a position with a new company that landed me back in entertainment. I was hanging around in CBD and hemp for a while. Found my path back into right now. I'm working on producing a Vegas residency
Oh,
and
cool.
writing stand-up comedy acts and a lot of the stuff that I used to do before I got into experiential that I honestly thought was wasted time in my life. That the experience is coming back around to help me now. So the main update is I'm the did you ever watch the show Wilfred with the dog and
Sometimes I watched
and
like a couple episodes, but
Elijah
not
Wood?
the main.
I actually I got homie with me right now. Oh, did I? Can you hear me?
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I've been working with this guy, the real one, Wilfred, Jason Gann, and I'm his new booking and operations manager. So trying to go out and do some Hollywood stuff, which means I can pretty much talk about this topic with impunity in the industry because I'm not really too worried about getting experiential jobs right now. But little bit of my history, I spent probably the last 4 or 5 years in the experiential marketing industry, doing a lot. I mean, I was going from each end of the country. My biggest goal was moving into management through experiential so that I could use that as a stepping stone to get into the kind of work that I'm in right now. But I with what the topic's been and Jay has been saying and what kind of made me want to come on today is just the evolving nature of the industry, especially after COVID.
Yeah.
And no lie, it's an industry that's not really worth it for me to work in the position that I loved for so long. I mean, I was very passionate about being a brand ambassador. I was good at it. I'm an extrovert. I love being around people. I got to see a lot of really cool stuff.
Mhm.
But the fact of the matter is, these used to be very coveted positions that you had to be in the know for. And 25 an hour was a lot more 5 years ago than it is today.
Yes.
Um, a lot of us have evolved. The humans in the industry have evolved. But it almost feels like the market price of our value has evolved in the wrong direction. And I
Yeah.
really blame a lot of that on I had definitely something to do with this is COVID's coming, unemployment, everybody help the gig economy. And it's like, oh no, they told everybody about the gig economy. So now we're in a new world that I think I've been able to navigate pretty well, but we all used to kind of know each other.
Yeah.
Jay and I have a very good professional relationship for two people that have never met in person.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how it used to be, where we all knew where each other stood. We could depend on each other. We were kicking each other work. We were all referencing for each other. We were booking each other as we were moving into staffing and event coordination. But that's just kind of not the case anymore. So I came to offer my opinions on that and hopefully a more unfiltered opinion than everybody else might be able to offer. Because I work for this guy now, and it's a lot different than having to present myself to be in the industry, to work for Coca-Cola, to work for these big brands. I don't have to be that clean cut anymore. I'm not walking on eggshells. So I want to have a good, honest conversation here. And I really want that to be my place in the industry going forward because I will be still doing a lot of staffing. I do still own Activate Vegas. I'm not going anywhere, but I'm also doing my own thing, and I hope that my place in the industry can be one of just honesty and straightforwardness that maybe everybody else might not be able to have that conversation. So that's what I'm doing here.
And thank you for sharing all of that. I wanted to let my windows up. You had a lot of noise going on. So talk, let's be honest. What are you seeing from a staffing perspective as far as rates with regards to how it coincides with the quality of EXPs that you're getting? Are you seeing the rate be higher, but then adversely you're not getting quality EXPs, or what are you seeing?
I'm just seeing a giant supply and demand issue. I don't personally have an issue not getting quality EXPs because right now I'm only hiring one or two at a time when I need them at a trade show. Previously working for Yonder, working for EventNet, it's a very simple equation. If you pay more, you will have better applicants. You go through those resumes and find the best applicants. So as long as you're dealing with a project manager who is a decent HR person and actually doing the interviews and reading
Resume.
the reading the resumes, as long as you're paying a minimum of 25 an hour, you're going to find great staff. Even if you're paying a minimum of 20 an hour, you're still going to find pretty good staff. But when most of these agencies at a $25 an hour rate, they're charging $60 to $65 an hour to the client. So
Mhm.
there is room, you know,
Mhm.
there the margins are great, and there is overhead to pay, and there is a lot of operating costs, but you are
Mhm.
the product.
Yeah.
So don't ever be afraid to try to negotiate your rates. And if you don't think it's high enough for you, do not take that job. Do not
Mhm.
take these jobs out of necessity. You can get $20 an hour down the street working at whatever 9 to 5 job today. It's
Mhm.
not the same incentive that it was 5 years ago. Again,
Yeah.
so it just, you got to pay more. We've got to make it the special job again everybody wants, but we can't put the genie back in the bottle.
Right.
Like the secret's out, so the industry is going to evolve no matter what. I
Mhm.
really hope Trusted Herd is able to take the lead on this, but we're going to see more apps like Trusted Herd, Pop Bookings, InstaWork, and it's going to be more streamlined like that in a way that really breaks my heart and makes me not want to participate. But
Mhm.
yeah, we're really going towards I think an app-based industry where we're going to be kind of like Uber drivers, where we got the profile, we got our 5 stars, everything like that, but the personal interactions that build you as just build you better career, whether you're the account manager or the BA, those are going to be gone. And
Mhm.
that kills me because I look at where I am right now, and I feel like I got ahead, not only because I was being booked for these cool things, but I had that account manager support behind me, like Nisha San Giorgio. Oh, I hate your name. I love you, but I hate your name. Carolyn Land, you, Brian Fox, the people that you just get an extra little bump on the shoulder with. It's like, you're going out and doing your job, but hey, this is your strength. I believe in you, kid. Like, you don't get that with the app based thing, and that's why I was always such a Pop Bookings hater. I've never booked a gig through Pop Bookings. Is like almost like a political boycott because it's just so unuser friendly. And it's like, well, if you don't care about me, I don't care about you, and I'm not going to use your damn app. So it just it, there I guess the thing that's really bothering me right now across the board, when it comes to pay, is inflation is driving the price of everything up. Raw materials are higher, food's higher, everything like that. So why doesn't that apply to labor? Why does
Speak a
our
little,
value not go up?
speak a little bit louder because it's some construction going on. Just started, and I want to make sure everybody hears you. So speak a little louder.
No, you're good. So the thing that I was the main point that I was trying to make that drives me crazy in society right now is with the price of raw goods going up, the price of food going up, the price of everything that you need to live and do. Why does labor not follow that? Why is our value still $25 an hour is a good rate right now, but
Right.
eggs are 4 times as much? I used to get like organic eggs at 49 cents a carton from Aldi's. Out here in Vegas, it's like the crap yellow ones, and it's like $3 a carton. I don't even eat eggs anymore because of that. Like, so,
Yeah.
I I think there should be less of us. But that's not going to happen. So we're dealing with more competition, and those rates are going to stay down.
Mhm.
I just don't know. I almost feel like, you know, I I I always had like a derogatory way to describe brand ambassadors, and I'd always call us super temps,
Yeah.
because there was the industry and the group of people that were more working for the people ready and the everything. And then it felt like you could like graduate and you could figure it out and you could get into experiential and become a brand ambassador. And that was cool. But at the same time, you go to these events, like I go to a lot more events as just a patron now, which is awesome. I never knew how much I'd love just attending a concert. But I go to these events as a patron, and I'm really seeing a lower quality worker at the booth,
Mm.
just somebody that doesn't care, is just their head's not in the game, and I don't blame them. They're not. It's like going to the grocery store and they're being mean to you. Well, it's like, I know you don't get paid enough to be nice to me, you know
Mm.
hero. But that's the same thing here. So I would like to see maybe out of this group or something, but that actual core elite, energy, not necessarily a set group of people because it's fluid, but I'm talking the Kevin Russos of the world, and the Chrissy Morgans, and the Yous and the Me's, and the John McCombs, and the people
Jesus.
that you're going to hire, and they're going to come kill it, and they're experienced enough in every facet that if your some part
Friends.
of your set or your booth breaks or blows down, we're going to figure it out in 30 minutes, or else there's no saving that thing. If we
Yeah.
can't. So like, I want to figure out how to separate the pack again, I guess, from the temps to the super temps, from the, to the elite temps, because in the end, it's all that's what we're doing. We're just a different breed, a different animal, and we we've put in a lot of time gathering education, a lot of time working, and this is another point that I wanted to put in here, is all the resources that we put into this,
Yes.
to work. I stopped when I was decided that I was going to be working for myself more, and the experiential journey was the first part of that. I just noticed that it was like, man, I'm going to work and making enough money to pay my rent in my crap apartment, put more gas in my car, go home and go to work the next day.
Mm. Mm.
How else am I, like, that's all the money is going to. That's it. Just basic
Yeah.
survival. And when I got into, when, even up until COVID, I mean, this industry moved me to Vegas. You
Yeah.
know, I I didn't even save for that long. I had the money in like a month because that's just how well things were going at the time. And it's just not that way anymore. So we need to understand that the time that we take updating our resume, the time that we take, I used to be up for hours at midnight scheduling emails so I didn't look like a psycho applying for this job at 1:13 a.m. Post COVID, I don't care. I look like a psycho at 1:13 a.m. all the time. But back then it was, you know, I want these, I'm going to apply all weekend and I want them to drop in 8 a.m. Monday morning. And, I really, I even went as far as affecting my own life. And I remember what a surprise it was to all my friends when people learned I smoked cigarettes. But like, that's how much of a focus I was on cleaning myself up and almost being a different person. But it was worth it. It was worth the money, the education, and the experience to right now it's not. And granted, I get to act like more of a rock star these days because I'm doing rock star jobs, and it's like nobody's judging me. I'm gonna go have fun. You know what I mean? If my boss is the one handing me drinks, I'm gonna drink at the event, But I've earned that too, because I've also worked so many events where I was the waiter, so many events where I was security. Now I'm the guy in the suit with the drink in my hand, and I'm having a great time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I met Machine Gun Kelly the other day because of my job, and I love that man.
Mm-hmm.
Like just
And that
but these are all
and,
things I got from Experiential. None of
and
none of that would happen without that seed.
and you made some awesome points. And I think the key thing that I, from listening to you and for what you're saying, is you put the work in, right? You're willing to sacrifice, put the work in. And so many now are not willing to do that. They want the microwave opportunities. They want to jump from working as a brand ambassador for a week to now becoming a tour manager. And you have to understand that you have to put the work in to earn those opportunities and to be able to effectively and successfully manage those programs. Because when you move into tour management opportunities, when you have the opportunity to step up and to manage programs, you are not only representing yourself, but you represent the other people, right,
Yeah.
who do a great job, who are professional, who demand the salary, right, and are able
Mhm.
to back up the salary and successfully and efficiently execute the program, right? You now have a responsibility to uphold that, because especially if you're asking for a higher compensation, because now the people that's coming behind you, if they ask for the same compensation, they want to be able to say, okay, T and J, they did a great job. The next two managers that come in, I don't have a problem paying 18, 19, 2000 a week, because I
Yeah.
saw what I got from the other person. It's the lack of consistency, right? And the quality of person that comes in, and not everybody, right? I'm speaking for those who don't have the experience, who jump into these positions and really don't understand that there are levels to this industry, right?
Yeah.
But you got to be willing to put the work in, right? And you have to be willing and able to learn from someone like you, learn from somebody like myself as a brand ambassador, or even a tour staff member on site. Hey, Jay, how you do this? Why are you taking pictures this way? When are you starting your event recaps? Asking these questions, right? And really understanding the nuances of what it takes to effectively manage tours and manage people and personalities, right? There's a lot that goes into it. You wearing 4, 5, 6 different hats. And
Mhm.
oftentimes people get into the industry looking at, okay, I can make $25 an hour, or I can make $1,800 a week on tour. But they don't look at the work and responsibility that comes with it.
Well,
So,
and that's where I mean, it's basically the paying your dues conversation. And
mm,
this is different for everybody because I mean, we've all been told that we have to pay our dues, but then we look at it and it's like, well, how long or how much and how is when you know. So to balance out what Jay says or said right there, it don't think that your journey is going to be the same journey as somebody else's in paying those dues. um you you have your own experience coming into experiential that might benefit you more than the next guy who has had to put in 3 or 4 years before he got a management position, where in my shoes it was like 18 months,
mhm,
but you go back and you look at the rest of my history. I mean, I was born into trade shows. That's the family business. And then getting into it, I had this whole long resume that I didn't feel like I could put out because I mean, I was in the Denver Post doing stand-up comedy stuff that was really raunchy and inappropriate. And I used to be the co-organizer for the Denver 420 rally, which is a giant event, but how am I going to say that to the Air Force that's trying to hire me, or Yonder that's trying to put me in a school? I can't put that on my resume. So, there's a lot of people that have like that secret resume like I had. And then there's a lot of people that have experience in what they're doing, but they just don't know it. There is maybe you were thrown into something experiential at a store, or maybe you did like theater in high school as a kid, or you've got like this dormant experience that's waiting to be activated, and you realize how it applies to what we're doing in experiential marketing. But no, paying your dues is important. You've got to know what's going on. But my biggest piece of advice with that is, don't be content and don't be stagnant, and keep
Yes.
stepping forward. Is like in football, they always told us, keep driving your feet. Even if you're not making it anywhere, just keep those feet pumping, and you might get baby steps, and you'll drive them back. So that's what you gotta do in this situation, where you might come to a where it feels like a stall,
Mhm.
and you're trying to push and you're not making it anywhere. But if you keep driving your feet, you will, like, you might trip and land on your face too, but you'll keep pushing, and just keep going.
Mhm.
That's so yeah,
Yeah.
there's such a balance of paying your dues and faking it till you make it. Just
Yeah.
don't ever think that you shouldn't go after an opportunity. But
Mhm.
at the same time, if you don't have the experience, don't be salty when you don't get it, but keep applying. And if
Yeah.
you get an opportunity that you are probably not qualified and experienced for, you better get out and do it.
Yeah.
You better start studying, you better wing it, and you better walk in there like you have done this 100 times, and you're going to
Mhm.
do it again, even though it's
Yeah.
your first time. And if you have that confidence on you, they won't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you do the job right, they won't know, and they won't care. By the time the job is done, if you did it better than everybody else, it doesn't matter if that was your first or 50th time doing
Yeah. Yeah.
it.
And that's true,
Uh,
because
uh,
every day
I see
that,
Jessica Bradford in the comments. She's one of my favorite people from the experiential industry, period. That girl is a hustler. When I was
yeah,
talking about elite EXP, her name is in that conversation too. Oh my goodness.
yeah, she's a
I
beauty.
don't know what anybody's name is. Everybody's just Facebook user and then Jessica Bradford, which is cool because
Yeah.
she's
I
probably
have
my favorite in the chat.
Facebook
Sorry.
so I can what everybody's saying. Let me read some comments. Um, Matt Jones said Cam is spitting hot fire. Jaron said truth, pop bookings has always been problematic and impersonal, and it's not user friendly. Jessica said, well, I'm on the client side now, it's different. Listen, at my team, saying we have our staff is different by leveling up. Um, let's see, yeah. Listen, at my team, yeah, we now have our temp staff. Okay, yeah. Galen said the companies don't increase rates after years and require a higher level from brand ambassadors. The company staff changes, and it seems like
Let's talk about that, because I don't agree with that. I feel like they haven't increased their rates, but they don't care. I mean,
yeah,
I don't agree with the fact that they're asking for a higher level from brand ambassadors. I feel like that's the opposite. Sorry, keep going. That one just really stood out to me.
if the company staff changes and it seems like your status from previous work with the company goes with the staff members leaving. So I guess what everybody's having different opinions and different experiences with regards to staffing and how events are being handled, post pandemic, which in a lot of ways, I understand, because a lot of people have either transitioned out the industry, or even more, from what I'm seeing, more staff agencies are popping up as well,
Mhm.
with opportunities and hiring EXPs for programs. So that tells you that there are more brands, wanting to get out there and execute experiential marketing programs, but also understanding that Ayana said, fake it till you make it equals blatantly lying. So yeah,
Oh
you
hell
got
no, 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 no!
fine line.
Those are fighting
Like,
words, girl. Blatantly
you
lying? What? No,
novel.
dude. No, no, not at all.
Mm,
Not at all. I don't agree with that at all. I'm hearing that a lot lately, that it's not about going in and putting on, it's not faking it to the other person. It's faking it to yourself until you make it. All right.
mm,
It's telling yourself that you have climbed that next rung of the ladder, even
mm.
if you haven't yet, because you have to know that you can do it before you get there.
Oh, she's right.
Does not, yeah, equal slash equal.
All
And
right,
I made it.
our
I
bad.
did really well in the experiential world, girl. I made it till the 10th grade. So Sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah, she is being misquoted and misunderstood. We are on the same page. It does not mean blatantly lying. That is what she was saying.
Yes.
Um,
Our
but with what
apology.
I with what yeah, whole apologies there. I know I apologize, but that doesn't take away from what I was saying. Is the fake it till you make it? That's to you. That's to you. That's not to everybody else. That's to you. And then that radiates to everybody else. Sorry, I'm having a lot of fun right now. Like my ADHD is kicking in. Like this is a great interview. I'm in a good mood. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, no worries. All right. So before we wrap up, let's talk future. Because I know you said you're working more now with, you have a one-on-one client you're working with now. So you're not as hands-on in the industry, but in the future, what would you like to see? I know we talked about having more individuals like myself and quality EXPs, step up and really help to create that separation so that rates can you know, not only necessarily be higher, but that EXPs can be compensated their worth, right? Everybody feels like valued and they feel like, what they're bringing to the table is being appreciated by the agencies and even by brands. So what would you like to see, in the future for the industry, in order to prevent, like you said, us having the apps and us becoming the Uber and Lyft of experiential marketing, with quality diminished? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the first thought is that I think that we need to rally behind Trusted Herd and Brian Fox, and it is going to be that way. So we need to make sure that that app is Trusted Herd and that is basically we're working with somebody within the community that loves us, that cares about what we're doing and cares about that. We don't need outside influencers running our job board, our marketplace. So that's why I endorse Trusted Herd there. The other reason is seeing that it's all going digital. I know that their technology, they've got another project going called Switchboard, which is like video chatting sales, but I can see that technology getting integrated with Trusted Herd so that the experiential account managers can do more like a Zoom style interview within a experiential platform. I want to see us recognize and accept our future and do everything that we can to be responsible about it so that we don't, like I said, have just like ZipRecruiter or somebody come in and set it up and somehow that becomes the standard and it doesn't work. Now that won't happen because pot bookings didn't become the standard and that's all that is. But I really think that it's like the rock is going to fall. Let's just see how many people we can get to ease it down, but the industry, there's no fighting the change, to say that we could do this to avoid an app-based industry. It's just not going to happen. We're already there. We just need to make sure that we're picking the right leaders and that we're being leaders ourselves and saying, yo, that doesn't work for me or that doesn't work for anybody. Like, have you thought that through? Like, just get used to asking that question to people. Have you thought that through? Because a lot of times they haven't. And that's all I want to see is just people thinking things through, understanding our reality, and making the best of it. That's yeah. I hope that answered that question.
Yeah, it answered it. It answered it. So
Cool.
so what's with you in the and thank you for joining me today. So what you got going on in the future, in the
Uh,
next week or even by the end of this year, what do you foresee for yourself,
well,
as we wrap,
first, thank you for
this
having me. Anytime you want me on this show, wherever I am in life, you got me. I'm here. The experiential community is what put so much self-confidence in me. So I feel a debt to this whole community that wherever I can help, please let me know. And then yeah, as far as my journey, uh like everybody, COVID wasn't the most mentally healthy time for me. I had a lot of goals that I was working on that crashed and burned because of COVID. I had just dumped everything I had into this company, Activate Vegas. um and
Mm.
it went nowhere because there weren't people on the strip or clients or the life in general in 20. Like, it's really crazy to think about that the entire Las Vegas strip was shut down. I mean, we've gotten so close to normalcy, it almost feels like we've forgotten what did just happen. So I I mean, I guess my revelation was, why is life even worth living if you're not having fun? And I got to a point where I wasn't having fun, and I was working for the census, and they were doing illegal and immoral stuff left and right, and it's just like, goodness, this is my government. Like, I don't want to be here anymore. And there was I was told that I needed to have my team of, I think I had 9 people that I was supervising, sign a cover page of a document without being able to read it. And I was like, no. And they're like, well, you can do it or there's the door. And I'm like, I'm not the most desperate person for work around here. Bye, guys. So I left that and started working in CBD with a company called Yetables.
Mm.
Um, that didn't progress the way I wanted it to. Again, I put a whole bunch of money into this company, was not seeing the right returns. So when I was in Chicago, on that project, I met Jason Gann, and Jason Gann is the star creator of the show Wilfred with Elijah Wood on FX. Fantastic show. If you've never seen it, please do, especially because at this point that streaming money goes into our pocket. We go do stuff with it. So watch Wilfred. I'm working with him. He has a CBD line, a cannabis line. So my biggest project right now is I'm getting his cannabis line licensed in Nevada, and I'm running that account. And then at the same time, we're both relaunching our stand-up comedy careers. He's never had one. I was a stand-up for about 2 years. A lot of people don't know that I actually used to be label mates with Richard Pryor's kids.
What?
So that was fun. So I'm getting back into that, getting back into art. I also write music. I know that when you look at me, the first thing you think is rapper, but I'm actually I'm a pretty good songwriter. I'm a pretty good singer. So that's one of the things that makes me happy. I have a route to do that professionally. So that's what I'm actually on my way to Atlanta to go do on the 11th and 12th, is I have a consultation with the producer that made Yellow Wolf's album Love Story, which is
Mm.
definitely my genre of music right there. So I'm going to go down and meet with him and see if I can get this pretty face on the radio. Um, but that's what I'm doing. I'm rock star track right now. I want to do things that are fun and fulfilling, but that also make money. So, they say 7 streams of income. I've got my sales and smoke shop stuff, CBD and all the bongs and paraphernalia. That makes enough money right now to pay my rent. I
That's
absolutely do not like doing it. I want to be out of products. So,
mm.
I'm moving into this venture, and it's just crazy because I thought getting into experiential and everything else that had happened in my life up to that point, to where I was like, I need to make this giant change, was wasted, and it wasn't. And even though that was a time in my life, a lot of people know that I'm 5 years clean from cocaine. That was a rough time in my life, but it's still so beautiful to know that all the experience and all the everything wasn't thrown away just because I was living a too alternative lifestyle. And right now it's nice that I can exist in counterculture and keep my head and keep my sobriety, and really just be an adult about it. So I'm really happy where I am right now, but I wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you and Brian Fox and all the people in the experiential industry. But it's like, there's times that we call it an industry, and there's times that we call it a community. And right now it's a community, with this conversation, the people that are watching and the people that are listening. And I just appreciate being part of that. This is really the first group of people that I've ever felt accepted into, respected, and like there's not just little extra things, you know what I mean? Like, um, nobody expects me to give them money. Nobody expects me to give them weed. Nobody expects me to to help them on their bills or anything like that. But at the same time, you know, if like my dog needed emergency surgery about a year and a half ago, I posted a GoFundMe up. Man, you guys had my back. You know, and I try anytime I see a GoFundMe from an experiential person, like at least $20. Like I want to be that dude that, you know, I start doing like 300-400 anonymously every time I see that, you know, like those are my goals, is to make so much money just to give it away. Really, that's all I want to do. But yeah, man, like it just it's a beautiful industry, and within the industry, you know, you lead a beautiful community. You know, you really are the helm of the community part here, and I appreciate everything you do. And you know, especially like we've been saying, in an ever-changing industry where a lot of people, including myself, are kind of jumping ship, you know, not jumping ship, but moving on to better opportunities. You know, there's a new class of brand ambassador that you guys are dealing with, but I think it'll get better.
Mhm.
um, it's just not everybody needed to know about this as fast as they did. But yeah, we were wrapping up. But part of finding that secret was being elite enough to find that secret and being the worker to find that secret. So yeah, I love you guys. I love you, Jay. You know,
Well,
just
now, before we go, I definitely want to give you your flowers because you know you said a lot. You said a lot there, and I want to give you your flowers because oftentimes you wait till people pass or people have life-threatening illness where you can't speak and you can't tell them, you know, what you appreciate and what you value. And I just want you to hear it from me that I value and appreciate everything that you've brought to the industry. You know, thank you
thank
for
you.
your support. Thank you for being so candid and transparent about your story. And I think what's great about this industry is that we all enter it different ways. We all come to know this industry by however way we in which we find it, right? But the great thing about it is that we're able to evolve. Oftentimes we're able to find ourselves, we're able to find our passion and find the things that we love to do in life and find that fulfillment by being a part of that community. So I commend you, you know, for not only just talking about your story, but for elevating other people and for being that voice because so many in the industry shy away from doing so, you know, for whatever reason. But thank you for being honest. You know, thank you for even on the days that you didn't feel like showing up for activation, being a manager or dealing with an unruly client. Just thank you for doing that because all of that plays an intricate role in the growth of the industry and how the industry is perceived to those entering. So you definitely set a standard in your way. You definitely maintain the quality of the industry in your own way. And I just want to say, you know, I'm proud of you. You know,
Thank you.
I for everything that you're doing and keep going on your path. We all have our journey. We all have our way in which we navigate through this industry and even transition out. But keep leaving your mark and keep leaving your imprint because that's what people are going to remember. You know, so thank you, you know, for being a part of this community and just thank you for always being willing and able to sow into others. You know, it means a lot to me, and I know it means a lot to others in the industry.
You know, the others in the industry are what mean the most to me. So yeah, just like I said, thank you for letting me be one of you guys. Because I really do come from a place in a background where it was just like there was no home, there was no fanny, you know. I'm tearing up talking about it type thing. But yeah, like thank you, just all of y'all so much for accepting me. And yeah, hopefully I'm able to give back in places like this and share my experience. And you know, just everybody keep their head up. And you know, my last piece of advice is, you know, when we're talking the fake it till you make it, you're going to have a lot of people in your life that get jealous and they're going to ask you, so you think you're better than me? And just remember, from this point forward, the answer to that question is always yes, because they would not ask that question if they were trying to help you progress. So
Yeah.
yeah, much love, everybody.
All right, we're gonna end at that. Thank you, Cam.
We'll see you later.
Later.